Hello, hello. Welcome to Sunday and to my stream. I just had to throw a cat out of this room because he is being super needy at the moment. He's bored out of his skull and he wants to go in the barn. He just wants to go outside. And that makes him really hyper. I'm not going to open the door now and let him into the barn because that means my room is going to get cold. And I'm finally warm. I've been cold this entire early afternoon, and I don't want to return to that. So that's where we're at the moment. I apologize if you hear some pitiful screeching. It is him, and I might have to get up and convince him to stop, or I might have to throw out his little sister so he has company at least in his misery. How is everyone? Um, Welcome to Spontaneous kind of stream. Kind of spontaneous. It has been up for a bit of a week, actually. Because I knew I wanted to stream this weekend if I had been productive. Those of you who are attentive would have noticed that they're on the schedule on the Twitch channel had been a potentially maybe stream scheduled for yesterday, which I have then turned into a not just potential maybe stream, but an actual stream today. So that's where we at. Because I have been productive. I am not 100% done with my video, but I am 90% done. I am just missing the wrap-up part of the video, and then all of the finishing touches, the adjustment of the sound, the pacing, that sort of thing. And then if I want a bit of text here and there, I'm missing that as well. But it means I'm about to be finally done with the lore video on the Scythe of Elune. For those of you who have been waiting for that, I thank you for thy patience. Thank you. And hello, views. How has your weekend been? We are approaching the end, unfortunately. And Mr. Binkitty, hello. Wave. I had thought that at this point in time, hey Nox, do you wanna join? Hey, no? Did you hear her? Come on. Yeah. You are less whiny than your brother. She's very good at just being sort of, okay, we are inside now. That's fine. I'll just go, I'll have some food, I'll have some water, I'll go use the litter box. She just rolls with it. Whereas Bumler, the male, he's such a teenager. He's such a teenager. Gavalia or Vanya, thank you so much for the resub. I promise you guys, there is light ahead of the tunnel in terms of these streams. I plan to, as soon as my parents are out of this house, as soon as I have it to myself, there is going to be streams on the weekends. Is the plan? Is the hope? I'm starting to really need these streams again for my sanity and my happiness. And Sir Erox, or Senior Erox, or SR Erox, welcome. Hi. And hello, Vanya. Is everybody having a good Sunday? I feel inspired today. I'm not sure why. I think so. I've been recently watching perhaps a little bit too much YouTube, but I have been diverting out a little bit and watching some different content creators instead of just sticking to the usual ones I go for to get some inspiration. And some of them just have so much energy on camera that it's kind of contagious. Yeah, it makes me want to also have that same amount of energy, and they seem incredibly happy with what they do. And I am too, but it's just that sort of, they look like suns, if that makes sense, like a sun. Just shining on camera. Very cozy Sunday indeed. What are you up to? So, oh yeah, I should probably fill you guys in. Um, I'm just getting this character out to the Isle of Thunder, to Nalak, to just camp him. I have set a couple of characters out for that world boss to camp him and get them out. And then I thought, who's up for Shadowlands? Because those of you who don't know, hi, yes, she's she's a very affectionate cat. Those of you who do not know, I am one of the few probably who's a little bit bummed out by Dragonflight. Not because of the content, not because of the surroundings, not because of what you might think, but because dragon flying makes me super sick. It makes me so sick, and I can hardly get anywhere without dragon riding or dragon flying. You can use the flight paths, but if you want to go to, say, where the hunt is taking place, or want to get to the community feast real quick, you need to dragonfly. So I feel forced to do so, and then I go do that, and I do the feast, and then I get up, and I'm all sort of like, okay, that was wow. For now, I gotta take a couple of hours of break because I just get so sick. Yes, I do get sick. Can you? Do you? I I'm not giving you enough attention, or do you just want to join? Do you wanna say hi? Hmm? Yeah. Want to turn off all of the motion dragon riding? As far as I know, I have been looking at some of the. Okay, let's just give this bonus to the roll, and gold, nothing. I have been having a look at some of the adjustments in the settings that you can do to reduce the chances of getting motion sick, but at least from what I can see, it'll just make it worse. For me, you can get this ring of blackness around your camera, as well as sort of a focus, which, sorry. No, I didn't get them out. I'm pretty sure I didn't get them out. I got some crushing threads of anger. But I guess that, congratulations on the legs, I guess. That's good. But thank you though. So I might have a look at whether I can fiddle a little bit with the settings to actually make it comfortable. But another aspect of it is that it's so fast that I lose the immersion. Immersion is such a big part of WoW for me, where you start out in a new zone with ground mounts, and you get to see everything around you. But here you go straight into dragon riding, and everything just flies by you so fast. You don't have time to absorb. And I really just think that the Dragon Isles and the zones of Dragonflight are amazing, but I don't even know my way around Theldraz's. I think that's the correct way to pronounce it, because everything is just so fast. So it's a bit of a, I think I would be a very, very happy camper if they allowed us to regular fly in Dragonflight. That would just be, and I could use all my new mounts and stuff. I would just be so happy. Oh, let me just hang on. Can't, my camera is in the way of the chat. Hang on. That helps. Sorry. Hello, Broodleg. Oh, I saw that message after I saw the one with the mount. But hello anyway. Welcome to the stream. Those legs look like an upgrade for sure. They could be, because it's an old character. I've got all these old characters over on Silvermoon that just, they hang out, and I use them for mount farming, and I don't have the heart yet, at least to to delete them or move them over. I have been keeping an eye out for discounts on... I'm just gonna look the other way until it gets to the ground. Yes, I'm gonna look at you instead. Cat. There we go. I've landed safely and securely. Here we go. Playing too much Demon Hunter made me blind. Oh yeah, that can happen to the best of us, can't it? Hydrate. Yes, I will. Should I? I've got some tea. I'll get some black tea. Oh, I hear someone crying. He's crying a lot. If I let you in, are you gonna behave? He needs to learn that you don't just get anything you want in life, even if you beg for it. I see cat ears. A whole cat. A whole kitten. She's still a baby. Oh, well, I will say they are kind of teenagery at the moment. They are kind of really annoying at times. Oh dear. Okay, let us I can't. He's really crying. Should we go get your brother? You finally gotten really comfortable. Hang on. I might go and get him. You gonna behave? So that's the other one. He's very interested in the makeshift curtain I've put up. It is very, very bright outside. So I've had to put up a green blanket on the window. You gotta do what you gotta do. If I hear as much as a pipsqueak from you, you're getting thrown out again, along with your sister. Right, this way. Close WoW and have a cat stream only. I really wish I had a cat cam. That would be... Sorry, I've got cat hair in my face now. That would be something. But I might have to purchase like 3 cameras because they wander around so much. They've also slept all day, so that's why they're up and about at the moment. I just need to get another camera or get some kind of tripod for my smartphone. Right. Shadowlands it is. So, there is still a lot of stuff I don't have from Shadowlands, and I've recently been working on the Path of Ascension on my hunter. I've got a survival hunter, that's Kyrian. And I've completed all the Trials of Humility on not Caligos, or Palagos, or Pelagos. Is it Pelagos? I've got Caligos on my brain these days. I think his name is Pelagos. The dude that becomes the Archon. I've done all the Trials of Humility on him. And I've done almost all of them on Clea, except for the Dom of Hatred, who's the toughest one, probably, and the Mad Mortimer. Those ones are difficult. And this morning I tried the Dom of Hatred on Mechanicos. Is his name? How long has it been since we played Shadowlands? I've forgotten all the names. And I don't know how I'm supposed to beat that spider on Mechanicos. I need to really soak my brain a little bit for that one. Okay, so I'm gonna start in Sereth Mortis. I'm gonna start and see whether Syrath is up because I'm missing his red sword, which I've wanted for a good old while. So that's where we start. And then I'm gonna go to Korthia because I need the reputation mounts in plural. Those yellow razor talons and dino dudes that you get from, let me just pull it up for you guys so you can see. If any of you weren't around for Shadowlands, I don't know if some of you have been away during Shadowlands or whether you just started playing WoW. So in that case, I want to show you. I do believe, if I say Korthia, will they pop up? Yes, it's the Death's Advance supply. So you get it from the chests from Death's Advance. And I need both this one and the shard hide, which were probably my favorite colors, and I just never got them. So that's how RNG works. Just in case you guys didn't know. And he is not up, so back we go. Look at me! I'm riding my new mount! This is wonderful! I'm not forced to dragon ride. This is fantastic. This is fast enough for me. I know a lot of people say, oh, we've been doing dragon flying. Dragon flying? Dragon riding? Do you ride your dragon or fly your dragon? Your dragon flies, you ride it. Dragon riding. We've been doing dragon riding. So now the regular mounts feel so slow. I don't think that's the case. But maybe my brain just works really slowly is why I get dizzy. I don't know. I had to kill Nalag around 150 times for the mount to finally drop after the buff. Hope you get it faster. Thank you. I think I lost count on how many attempts I had on Shower of Anger after the buff, but I know in total it was around 170 attempts or something. It's also a good amount. Causes the other players in Shadowlands. Greetings! You're not around, but greetings anyway. Greetings in spirit. Okay, so Korthia is this way. Been able to solo Shadowlands dungeons, but not BFA dungeons. Okay. I sense something, some tuning is not correct. Haven't they nerfed Path of Ascension to the ground? I heard they did. I saw a post about it on Twitter, but I wonder if that's only for level 70 characters? Because I ain't feeling it on my hunter. Alright. Have I picked up a quest here? I have not. Talgalan, here we go. This should be pretty easy. Because I'm max level. Might only be level 70s. So the question is, I need to consider. I need to track miscellaneous quests. Am I not? Oh dear. There we go. Trivial quests. I need to consider whether it's faster to get my hunter to level 70 and then do Path of Ascension, or whether it's faster to just do the Path of Ascension. It depends on how difficult everything is on Mechanicos. He's probably the benchmark there. I don't think I'm going to do this one because that's not going to give me any reputation with the Death's Advance, and that's what we're here for. Where am I actually currently? I am... Looks like I just received a box. Well, all the more reason to get sorted. Okie dokie, and here is it's a rare. I actually feel good about being back. This is really nice. I'm also one of the people that didn't really, I wouldn't say didn't mind Shadowlands. I quite liked Shadowlands. The only criticisms I had was the fact that all the enemies look the same. They're all Morsworn. They're all wearing silver armor. Or grey armor, depending on your perspective. And they're all spiky. And they're all the jailer's minions. And the other thing is that we had so much enough of them all. And then they introduce Korthia, and we go, yay, more gloomy, dark, black and blue stuff. And we weren't excited. I was not that excited. I was excited to begin with, but when you see all this black and grey all the time, and then you get sent back into the moor to do quests up here in this Morderon, my feet are cold, hang on. You're not a happy camper. How's your house hunting going? Me and the girlfriend bought a house, but need to sell my flat. Yeah, sell it to me. No. Yeah, I went to the bank. I went and had a serious conversation with the bank. I wanted to see where I was economically, house hunting, how my situation was looking. And generally, it would be looking good, but do you call it inflation as well in English? The economical situation in Denmark and the world these days is not favorable to a single person buying a house. That was my orchids. They're soaking in the. They're having a bath, so we gotta go and get them out of the bath before they drown. They're not favorable at the moment, so I'm gonna get those orchids. Hang on a second. I'm gonna get these mushrooms first. I'm just gonna get them out of the bath. Hang on. Here we go. Sorry about that. I'm very particular with my plants. I don't want them to get too much water, too little water, too much fertilizer, not enough fertilizer. So anyway, you need to have, well, basically, I need to earn considerably more if I want to not be able to afford the house. That's not going to be a problem. But being able to have sort of this leftover amount, they call it, I wonder what they call that in English. It's like free disposal amount after you've paid all your bills, after you've paid your tax, your loans, your car, if you have one of those, your TV, your insurances, all that stuff. You need an amount of money left over. And that's pretty high these days because of the situation, because of the prices on electricity and gas, and all that. And this is not working. When I learned that amount, because the bank lady told me, my dad told me I got very red cheeks because I was not a fan. I was sitting there and I was thinking, nobody in this countryside who's single will be able to have that amount left over. And I told her, how am I going to spend all that money? No way I can spend all that money left over after paying all my bills. Nigel, this is not working. Oh, I need to pick up the sword first, of course. That'll help. So that's where we are at the moment. I was a little bit knocked out by that verdict. It was not what I had expected, and I actually thought I was in a really good situation, a really good position to get myself a house. So now I'm sort of waiting. The good thing is that there isn't actually a house at the moment that I just really want. So it does give me time to find the perfect house. And hopefully by that time, the economical situation has become a little bit better and I'll have better chances at reaching those expectations from the bank. So that's where we are at the moment. It's a little bit of a bummer because in the countryside, the renting situation is not very good. So renting an apartment is, you can do it during winter, but then during summer you get all the tourists here. So the house owners really want to rent the houses at very high prices to tourists, which means you have to move out. And I guess I could set up tent at one of the big sites of a summer, just live in a tent. But that considerably limits my opportunities to stream, and I don't know what I would do with my cats. I could buy you all leashes, and we could all live in a tent. How do you feel about that? I don't think they would like that very much. Word on the street is that clearing the trash, the dungeon motherlode, nets big time gold. Oh, you don't have to tell me twice. Hope all is well, Dad. Hello, BJ. All is well here. It's a little bit crazy at the moment because my parents are moving out. I could have moved out as well. But is it not tracking these quests because they don't show up on my map? The only reason why I know where to go, oh, there we go, is because I've been here before many times. So my parents are moving out, so there's a lot of stuff that they're moving at the moment, so things are a little bit hectic. But we've been way too many people living in too small a house for too long because things are just stacked on top of each other. And if I leave my room, which is going to be my office in here, I get stressed because my OCD lamps are just blaring. Just clean up, but there's nowhere to clean stuff up. So I'm happy that we're sorting it. It's not me who's kicking my parents out. It's actually because my dad does not want to live here anymore because it's cold. And he'd be right. I guess I'm more thick-skinned than he is. I live in the bar and there's no insulation in here. We just huddle together, me and the kitties, and we'll just stay warm that way. What zone is this? I've never seen these colors in the game. This is Korthia, and Korthia is part of the Moor, which is part of the Shadowlands out here. So when did you join the game, Broodlake? Because I'd be happy to show you around what is something I still consider home for some reason. I spent so much time in the Shadowlands. I spent so much time here because I was without a job at the time. And that's when I started content creating because I was bored and I needed to do something with my hands. And that ended up being a lot of gaming and a lot of video editing. And look where that got me. That got me pretty far, all things considered. Mostly thanks to you guys. More is the Shadowlands on Nazmir. So Nazmir is a zone in Sandalar. This is where Nazmir is. That's a horde zone. Whereas the Moor is the Great Cosmos. part of the great cosmos of Shadowlands, whereas Nazmir is back on Azeroth. Also a great zone. Just I was about to say the Broken Isles. That's not what I meant. Broken Isles is also great, but Korthia and Sandalaw, great zones. Just really, really great zones. Quite sure Autumn don't want to live where that flat is located. What do I know? Okay, sounds interesting. Now I'm very curious. Is it dark? Is it wait, how do I get over there again? I believe there's a hook somewhere, but I'm just go and take the flayed wing transportation up here. It's also rare down here. It's chests. Just get it all. I don't particularly fancy going back to the city. If I do end up going anywhere close to a city, it would be a suburb somewhere. You never know where life takes you, honestly. And I feel like as things sort of quiet down in my life, I might consider going to a more populated place again. There's just not that many people here. There really isn't. So everybody knows everything about each other, and I found myself in this situation today. Usually, all the villagers here will wave to each other, even though they're not entirely, because everybody knows each other. So they'll wave regardless of who drives by, because it's probably someone they know. And you can identify villagers by their waving. If they don't wave, it's usually a tourist. But recently, I've taken to waving too, because I live here. I am technically an authorized villager of this place. It says so on my identification that I live here. But they don't wave back. It's so awkward. I'll wave to these people because it's expected of me. It's expected of villagers to wave at each other. But I'll wave and they'll go, who in the world is that? I do not know this weird looking redhead. I'm not gonna wave. I don't know. I don't know if it takes them a couple of seconds. The majority of the villagers here are elderly people. I don't know if they're just, their brains is just processing the fact that somebody they don't actually know who is waving at them, and they might wave, 5 meters down the sidewalk, go, oh, but I'll already be past them, so I won't see them wave. But I don't know. I feel so awkward every time, and I don't know what to do, because I feel if I don't wave, they'll never know I'm a villager here. And if I do wave, I feel incredibly awkward because they don't reciprocate. It's kind of sad. You all know that movement where you go, no, I was just not. I was just fixing my hair. I was just needed to put my hand in the pocket anyway. Just no. It might be really, really funny to watch that as a fly on the wall. Started playing a week or something before the launch of Dragonflight. Well, welcome to the game then. Happy to have you here. And if you do have any questions about the game at all, feel free to fire away. And me and chat will do our very best to help you. There we go. Legend of the Animus Well. I've always wondered if that is Animus Well or Animus Well. I've always wondered, and I have been unable to find an answer to this point. Yeah, more is the entry zone of Shadowlands. It is, and then you return to it later because they thought it wasn't enough. Where I do think that a lot of people at that time, during 9.2, they had enough of them all. I don't have any rift keys. They're probably in the bank. I stashed a lot of Shadowlands stuff in my bank. I do that a lot, where I'll just stuff old stuff in the bank, because you never know when you need some ley line ore. Is that called a ley line? Ley stone? The stone you get in Legion. Or some fell slate. You don't know when you need that. And apparently, when you do the mage tower, the flasks that are still... I don't know if that's after it returned, but I do know that during Shadowlands, when the mage tower came back, the best flasks, the ones that scaled the best, were actually from BFA. So at that point in time, I suddenly needed all my anchorweed and my synthid that I had in the bank. So that was good. You never know. How's the grind to reaching the season goals like KSM, ahead of the curve, PvP, season vicious mount? I have not started on the PvP yet. I really, really should. But I have gotten KSM. As you can see, I've got a 2000 rating. I have also gotten ahead of the curve. So rating is about to... the season is about to be over for our team. We've taken down Razageth 3 times now. I was only there for one of them because I'm going to bed really early these days because I'm always tired because of work. So I usually join them for 7 out of 8 bosses, and then this bean goes to bed. But yeah, I think we're about done with that raid now, and I haven't done dungeons for quite a while. I probably maybe should for March's Traveler's Log, because who doesn't want this awesome looking outfit? This is great. This is so extravagant. I need it. I need to... who doesn't want to be a jester? So that's where I stand. I should get started on arenas. I feel I'm ready for it as well. I've had a couple of evenings where I thought to myself, now arenas would be nice. But I'm also in a situation with work at the moment. I've gotten more used to it, but there's so much stuff to do. We've got so many projects, and I feel like I do nothing but write, what are they called? I'm getting no sound from that subscription, but thank you very much, Darylis, for the resub. At least I can see it on the screen. Are you guys getting any sound? Because I'm not getting any sound cue. They're not called resumes. So when you have a meeting and you write notes for what was taking place during that meeting, what's that called? I didn't get a sound cue. Okay, that is my cue to go and check out Streamlabs. Let me just see what Streamlabs is doing at the moment. Because I have been messing a little bit with YouTube, because those of you who joined, or those of you who watched the VOD, will know that I had a stream over on YouTube to celebrate 3,000 subs over there. Here we go. And that might have messed a little bit with Streamlabs. Let's see here. Alert box. Subscriptions. Enabled. There should be a sound. It is now connected, and I would like to just enable this. Should work now. And I've also made sure that Streamlabs is still a moderator, even if it's too harsh at times. It's really, really awful moderator. I apologize in advance if you guys, I don't know, make an exclamation point and it bans you for 3 minutes. I've tried to adjust it a little bit so it's not over the top like that. It's awful, but I'm no promises. Super harsh. All words are banned. You're all banned. No. It's a Neem as well. A Neem as well. Just noticed you play Alliance too. I do. I do. For the Alliance. I do have a couple of Horde characters because I actually really, really like the story of the Horde, and I really like the raises of the Horde. But all my friends always played Alliance, and Night Elves are very close to my heart because that's I've always hung out in Teldrassil. It feels like I've hung out in Teldrassil for half the time I've been a WoW player. So I could never go fully over to Horde side, I think, unless my friends suddenly decided, you know what, we're gonna switch to Horde permanently. Nothing wrong with the flat, but it's in the middle of the city, and I know you want to live in the countryside. I think my cats would also appreciate it if I lived in the countryside. Old Kitty, who is turning, she's turning 20 in 2 months. I gotta make a cake for her. She can be an indoor cat. We used to live in Aarhus, which is a pretty big city in Denmark, and she was an indoor cat. And she had no problem with that. I think she was very sort of... It was very manageable. Manageable. That's a very difficult word to say. Manageable for her little brain to be in a small apartment and not have to go outside and be threatened by bigger cats or dogs or people she didn't know. So she was just rolling with it. It was good, but I can see that she really appreciates being outside now. She loves running around in the moss. We do have a lot of moss here. In that case, no, don't go. Don't go. Also, I didn't catch you coming on, Lord Sarah, so hello. Hello. I play lions because they seem like they act good, but are not. Seem very morally grey. That is very nicely noticed. You're very, what is that called? God, I'm losing words today. Perceptive. Considering you've only played since the beginning of Dragonflight, that's very good, and I agree, because they are, you know, they're blue, they're the good ones, but they're not really. They're not really. I definitely think that the Horde are much better. They're much nicer to each other in the Horde, and they might be a little bit more brutal, because you've also got these very notable and notorious former war chiefs and leaders. You've got Garrosh and you've got Sylvanas, which are really standouts in terms of, I don't know, brutality. Go full Horde permanently, you can always go cross faction, right? You can, but you can't really quest together, and you can't really be in a guild together. So that's the main reason. Oh my god, I've got so much stuff in my get bags. I can't. What is all this stuff? I thought Shadowlands was bad with stuff, but this is just a whole other question for the stratosphere, for the chat. These artifacts, these hunting trophies, and I don't have any other things in my bags. Oh yeah, Dragon Isle artifacts that you turn in for reputation. Who invented that? Who invented that? If you go and do the Grand Hunt, you don't get reputation. You get tokens that you then turn in for reputation. Why? Why? Why do they have to invent a currency that goes into your bags when there's already so many crafting mats? You don't just have rock and maybe some thread and maybe some glue anymore. You've got rocks, and then you've got elements, and then you've got artisan's metal, and you've got primal flux, and you might have some primal focus and some other bits and bobs, training matrices. It just takes up so much stuff. We don't need tokens. I question somebody's decisions. there's potentially viewers who are younger than your cat. There is! There is. So VJ is 21. Oh, that's true. That's insane. Not too long ago, I saw the guild Teldrassil firefighters. I say I laughed more than I should have. If only they had been around during BFA. If only they had been around. We might still have Teldrassil. You should throw them a whisper and say, "Where were you the day Teldrassil burned? Where were you? What were you doing? Were you on a lunch break?" Because I know that every time I see shows from, you know, firefighters shows, I don't know if there's such a thing, but you know, people that are employed in like the police force and in firefighting team and ambulance team. There's a lot of English words here I'm missing. I just see them in their lunch location, whether that be in sort of in the canteen or whatever. And I think to myself, do you spend half your time in the canteen or do you main Frosty K? I do. This is my main. She's item level 405. She is the character I run keys and raids and PvP content with, and I have done so since not the very beginning of Dragonflight, but I didn't make it very far into Shadowlands. Not the beginning of Shadowlands, but I didn't make it very far into Shadowlands before I switched, because previously I mained a Havoc Demon Hunter, and they were squishy. They had been nerfed to the ground at the beginning of Shadowlands, so you could not survive an adventure through the mall. You could hardly, and it was just so torturous that I had to, I don't know what that was. I had to reconsider my options, and then one of my former guildies suggested I play a Frost DK. I had an Unholy DK alt at the time, which I then switched over, and that was very fine for me because I had a Horde DK actually during Legion, so it came very naturally to me. Okay, I think that was it in Korthia. That was too quick. Let's see. I should go, and I should go up here. I wonder if anyone's taking up Morgoth anymore. I probably couldn't. Do you think I could solo him? I kind of want to try. I don't. Because it would be nice to get 100% here. Let's take a walk, why don't we? Where were we? I'm personally trying to reach my goal of 0.1% rating cutoff at the season. It's pretty hard when pugging all the way. That's a nice goal to have, though. It's always good to have goals in life in general, but also in WoW. It motivates you. I really should start doing arenas because I do have that goal of getting the Vicious mount. It is, after a good old while, it's quite a unique looking mount. This dude, the Vicious Sabertooth. We do have Night Sabers that have the same model, but we don't have a Sabertooth mount, whereas we did have Gorms, and we did have Wolves. Excuse me, which were the former PvP mounts. I thought I was just going to get disconnected there. I prepared myself to apologize. I've tried all classes and enjoyed how Fury Warrior and Disc Priest felt. Fury Warrior I've also tried, and that is a lot of fun. It's such a fast class. I do enjoy the fast clicking, the fast pressing of buttons. I have a Fury Warrior over on Silvermoon that I used to play a lot. I suddenly remembered that when I did play on Silvermoon, I must have not had that much time to play because I had not that many alts. I had my Demon Hunter, which I then moved over to Bloodhoof, which was my main. Then I had a Guardian Druid, Fury Warrior, a Beast Mastery Hunter. And then I made a Rogue. So that's 5. I wonder if anybody's... Is nobody doing Morgath? Questing. Well, he's not up either. What is this? I've never seen this platform empty. World Quest. We'll start a group. Morgath. Morgath. Here we go. And after I switched to Bloodhoof, I've gotten so many alts. I have no words anymore. I was looking at my Dark Iron Dwarf today, and I transmogged her gear into the Dark Iron Heritage set that we got on the previous stream, just because. And then I logged out, and then I thought to myself, okay, that's it. I can delete this character now. But that was sort of ruined the purpose, no? It would be kind of sad just to get that character to level 50 and then, okay, bye. I feel you pugging is so annoying. I haven't pugged much this time around, actually, fortunately. Need to get more 20s in time, but it's hard with pugs. Oh, I can imagine. I don't think I'm gonna get this dude. Oh, there he is. Let me just I'm just gonna try. This is going to take a while if it works. I need to keep an eye on... This could work. I just need to... Who's coming forward? That dude. Oh, I gotta take out the soul. Just gonna focus a little bit here. I have not missed this guy. That's gonna hurt. Oh, he's going the other way. How kind! How kind of you. You get in here. I can't. Okay. I've got this. Not. I've got this. I'm a Frosty K. I should be able to do this. SpongeBob meme pops up 1 hour later. Certainly. It's not too bad. He just needs to slow down with his minions over there, with his soul cages. Should be fine. Yes, I think it does. Yeah, they should be fine. Owie. Owie, owie, owie. Okay. Am I standing in goo? Just about to curse on stream. This is going to be painful. This is already painful. Okay, we got him past the halfway point. Now I can't really turn around and go back. This was the new Mage Tower challenge, I believe. Oh, this is nothing compared to the Mage Tower. Need to get one of these down. I really need to get one of these down. Get me back in. Oh dear. I'm getting red-faced. This is difficult. It's actually rather refreshing. I need to get this suffering soul down. Lest I be... Lest I suffer, clearly. Okay, dude. Okay. Let's lose soul. Can I? I can't get him back. Bye! There we go. Thank you for your patience. It's really hard to main one class, to be honest. Yeah. Especially in the beginning of playing WoW. It's a bit difficult because everything is quite exciting and everything is quite new, and I kind of wish I could go back a little bit to playing WoW for the first time. Oh yeah, we should hydrate. I should hydrate. Thanks, guys. I'm just gonna get out of here because otherwise I might be stuck. That is the long walk back from this place was always awful. I remember I had to sometimes change into tank spec, at least on my demon hunter, to just stand a chance of survival. Okay, I'm gonna go to this corner. I'm gonna sit here. I'm gonna have a drink. Cheers. This way. That was nice. Thank you. In the time it takes you to kill this guy, I'll have completed Shadowlands twice. I mean, at least I did it. That's pretty decent, considering this is just one expansion back. Killing a world boss by yourself should not statistically happen. Because as you mentioned, some of us might not be able to even solo BFA dungeons at this point in time, so there might have been massive nerf to Shadowlands content, which is fair, but they should just do the same for other expansions. I would love to soon go back and solo the raids of BFA. There's some pretty neat mounts in there, and is it weird to say I miss Nyalotha? It's just it holds a lot of memories for me of Japan, and my it's funny how your brain twists your memories, because when I look back at Japan and the times I spent in my room, in my dormitory room, in my shoebox of a room in Japan, eating curry by myself and getting up at 2 a.m. at night to play WoW with my guild, I remember only the good things. I remember it very fondly. I get very nostalgic, and it warms my heart, but I forget. My brain forgets that it was also really rough. So, that's what the brain does. Okay. We got a chest, but there's no mount in this one. There's just accommodations. Alright, what else were we talking about? Am I still looking for a group? I think we can delist that one now. I should have all this. Oh, there's a tablet I don't have. Do I need the Stygia for anything? I can just get some transmog, maybe. Look at this. I don't have this appearance. What have I done all this time? I bought mounts, clearly, but... I will, let me get some cosmetics then, because the cosmetics, that one, and that one I have, that one. And I'll sell it again. Here you go. And here you go. Hang on, did that, I didn't get the back transmog. Can I have that back, please? Thank you very much. I noticed something was wrong. So we can solo Torghast in the hardest settings now? I think you can. My friend and guildie went into the Jailer's Gauntlet yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Just for giggles, to see what would happen, and how it was. And he said that they didn't deal a lot of damage, but they took surprisingly long to take down, and there's 18 floors. So I would reconsider if you just want to go into the Jailer's Gauntlet for giggles, because you might be there for a while. Just letting you know. You refund the Stygia? Maybe you can still have the transmog, but I don't know. Oh! I did refund the Stygia. I thought that was just gonna be gold. Hey! Neat. And I still got the transmog, I believe. Yes, I did. 18 floors. I was willing to do 1.8 of a floor. Exactly. Okay. Now, I think this character is done in Shadowlands at this moment. What I might do is I might go and I might send some anima. If I've got a lot of excess anima. I might send some anima over to one of my other characters, because there is still stuff. There's still transmog I need. But before that, I want to go home to my home in Maldraxxus and just say hi and turn in that where's the flight path? I forget. turn in the anima, and then go greet Smorgas. Have we all missed him? I still don't have that pet. I might as well while I'm there. So I'm gonna go over here. And while I'm flying, I'm just gonna get up real quick and take a very short break, and I should be right back with you. Right, thanks for waiting. In the meantime, the it's only got brighter in here, which is not the case, but my camera thinks so. Can you, if we do this, maybe? No. Deal with it. It ain't gotta get any better. I just can't waste energy on that anymore. It is capricious. It has got its own mind. It does what it wants to do. Have a stretch and a slurp. Definitely. Go hydrate. Go stretch. Go grab a snack if you require one of those. Go pet your cat. Cat next to me. I wish you could see him. I've got this cat bed, which is a plenty big cat bed for my old cat. It's technically her bed, and it's technically her bed, and he's taken over. He is just your younger brother who's lying across the sofa or the chair like this, just feet hanging over the side of it, arms hanging over the side of it, just taking up the entire space and not really using it well. That is this cat. This is really annoying me. Why though? Why? See if I can do while we wait for small gas. I could turn down the light a little bit. Might help. temporarily. And then you've got Nox, who's rolled up into a neat little ball. It's just, he's just a handful. Also, I think there's definitely some Mancoon in them, because he's getting huge. He's got massive feet. Really is. And it's quite funny to hear them run in the hallway, because she's very quiet, very sort of delicate little steps. Oh, there he is. Whereas he just sounds like a truck running through the house. It's hilarious. Right, small guys. Have you got a boost to you? No. Still no corpse lover. Okay, fine. You just really want to see us again, don't you? That's why. Wish I was a cat. Free food, private healthcare. Only have to wear a collar with a bell on. You don't even have to wear a collar with a bell on here. They're not wearing anything. They've gotten little lumbers in their ears, and that's about it. They don't even have a chip, because there's not really any reason to in a place like this. You can look up the number and you'll see my name on it, and all will be good. Okay, so we turn in the anima here. I believe I have to go back to Oribos. Ooh, that was nice. Have I got any missions on the mission table? I could have, because I do it on the phone on occasion. It's a scandal. Yeah, not really. Real good. No, nothing interesting here. Pull a mob into a horde, play as AoE, and watch some strong. You're so mean. You sound like you have a great time, but you're one of those people, or one of those players I meet out and about, and who just ruin my life on occasion. That's why. This one's for me. Well, can't argue, but as long as you're just mean in the game and not real. I do think objectively, subjectively, that humans are incapable of being 100% good all the time. That's just imbalance. Okay, so I think it's this one, and I'll buy 4. I don't even know which character I need this for. I'm thinking. Oh, I know. My demon hunter really needs it. She's been unable to do mission tables, and there's still a great bunch of Ember Court stuff, actually, that I need on that character. We're not doing Ember Court now. I do believe that I'm not yet ready for the Ember Court. Again, that was a lot. That's just so much work every single week. So much work. Okay, let's go over there and go back to... Yikes. Help or hinder. Hinder is more fun. This is why I never have war mode on. This is... Yeah, no, not for me. Anyway, what else has happened in my life recently? What is this? Or what is this? I can't pick it up, but can I pick it up on my main? Oh, this. That leaves me so curious. So curious now. Well, there's been work, which has been busy. We've been to Sweden for a conference, which was quite something for someone like me. And then it felt weirdly empty after we returned home. I've already done this, apparently. which made me want to go back, which was kind of off because I didn't actually want to be social anymore. And then there's just been, I think my learning curve has been really steep with this job, and there's a lot of social activities involved with it. I wish I could just have a week soon, just in the office, just writing my reports, tending to the website that we're working on, and fiddling a bit with social media for the company instead of going to conferences and meetings and workshops and networking events. It's a lot for me. I feel tired all the way into my soul. I actually thought I was going to get sick on Friday because I was very, very dizzy. Might have something to do with iron deficiency. I'm going to the doctor tomorrow for a vaccine because I'm going to Japan in April. And I was going to set up some another appointment with them for some tests because I like to get my blood tested. No, that's not what I mean. I like to get it tested just to see how my iron levels are, because I've got anemia, as many redheads do. So you need to keep an eye on it. And that could be what had happened on Friday, but it could also just be exhaustion. Again, I sleep plenty, I eat enough, but it's just my social battery is just constantly drained. Great quest, what is it? I have to go back on my main to see what that is. I think the only time I did Ember Court was just for Back from the Beyond meta achievement. That's also why I did it. I did it for that, but also a little bit for the Countess's mount. But once I gotten that and the Back from Beyond, nope. I don't have a flying mount keybound on this character. Let's use the mirror network for this one to go and turn in that anima. That note seems awfully close to the secret mount type of thing we saw with the Riddler's Mindworm, Lucid Nightmare. Did we get we didn't get a quest for that though, as far as I recall. That was just it was a hidden quest. So you did have to follow some steps, but you didn't get in your quest log. Oh, it's already turned in. Okay, super duper. Now, for the reputation on this character, we got exalted with this advance. Perfect. Let's go. Let's go. Although, not that way. I believe I've got a portal to Orbos over here. I really miss Covenants. I don't miss them as much as I do class halls, but I miss having that sort of identity. I feel like we've completely lost any kind of particular identity in Dragonflight because everybody is getting reputation with every faction. We don't have a faction that's ours. Oh, well, no, we don't really anymore because Alliance and Horde are friends. So we don't really have a faction anymore, and we don't have a covenant, and we don't have a class hall. And everybody's riding the same mount. I'm a little bit bitter. Can you sense it? Right. Pick that up. Let's pick these daily quests up, and then I'm just going to go back to my main to see whether there's a note on the table for her, or whether it's a quest I've already done and just forgotten about. After having that bank meeting where it seemed like I wouldn't be able to buy a house just right now as I'd want to, I have been wanting to just buy stuff instead of, because apparently saving up doesn't really matter anyway. So I really want to buy a big cat tower, which is going to be irrelevant once they get outside, which is going to be soon. Next week, it feels like we're seeing the last of winter. We're getting snow. We're getting -1 to 2 degrees, which is going to be cold. But after that, it should be warm enough for at least Bumle, the big red cat, to go outside. I'm not so sure about Nox, because Nox is still rather small, and it is cold, and we do have neighboring cats in the garden, which leaves Mum here a little bit worried. So might wait with her, and she's also a lot more relaxed about the whole indoor situation, whereas this guy is just impatient and whiny all the time. I might have picked this note. There's a note here and I can't pick it up. I must have done this quest then on this character. But why is the note still here though? That's scrolling. That's going to bother me a lot. Alliance and Horde are more than just friends. They have a rented condo together and have visited each other's parents. Almost. Have I picked everything up here? I believe I have. Let's start over here then. Might be able to pick up a chest on this character depending on how fast we get reputation. I wish there was more I could tell you guys. So yeah, I'm going to I was clicking the keybinds that I associate with my Frosty cape, but that doesn't make sense on this character. Got different keybinds and different abilities. Yeah, so I'm going to Japan in April, and I've started to prepare for that for real now. I'm looking for a travel insurance. I have spoken to the bank about what to do. Denmark is really turning into a cashless country, which is a bit of a problem when you're going to a country where cash is very much still the way to go. So I was making noises. So I spoke to them about that. I've sorted out my flight ticket and my hotel. So I actually initially was going to go to this hotel I've never heard of before. It was a cheap option. It looked fine. But then I wasn't really sure about it. And then when I looked into it, it is going to be 9 nights in Japan. And I thought to myself, you're not going to go to some dingy hotel for 9 nights where the walls are paper thin and the room is dark and it's in a gloomy neighborhood. No. So I went and I booked a different hotel, which has got an onsen in it, which is going to be really nice. And it just generally looks a bit more promising, looks a little bit more, still a cheap business hotel, not with an amazing breakfast or anything, but I don't need that. I just need a very good bed and potentially a disc, because I see myself, even if I'm in Japan, I see myself hanging out in the hotel for a half a day or something, just chilling, watching TV and drinking juice and eating onigiri and 7-Eleven coffee, because this is also my holiday, my first holiday in a good old while. I haven't been on holidays since, well, we did have Christmas holidays, Christmas days off, but other than that, I haven't been on a holiday since I went to the UK in September, August and September. So I need a bit of time away, and most of all, I need some quiet time to myself in a, oh God, what am I writing? In a cozy hotel room with some good food, and everything is just put at a great distance. Like, Denmark is very far away. I really am tempted to try and vlog something, but I've never done it before, and I might be incredibly awkward, even though the Japanese people are probably quite used to it, because you gotta admit there's a lot of content creators out in Japan, and there is a lot of Japanese people that really like to take photos and videos. So seeing some random Western girl with a camera that she's talking to would probably not really face them. They're very curious though. So you might have footage where everybody's going like this. What is going on? They're very curious. Excuse me. Oh, he's going home. Bye. I wonder what Korthia smells like. Sulfur. Rotten eggs. I reckon. What does the moor smell like? Because technically, Korthia has been pulled into the moor. This is not technically what Korthia is supposed to look like. You can see traces of what Korthia looked like before. There's a bit of flowers here and there and broken pillars. So I reckon that former Korthia smelled a little bit like Sereth Mortis. Maybe it smelled like money, because it's a broker place. No, not a broker place. It is those keepers. I wonder what the keepers smell like. Whereas the moor really probably smells like smoke and sulfur and despair. For 9 nights, you want to stay somewhere nice. Yes, yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's going to be your base, so you want to make sure that it's somewhere quite nice, and if it's got a little onsen and whatnot, it's going to be cozy. How do I get up there? Did I miss something? I should know. I should know this place like the back of my hand, the back of my pocket. Sulfur from the moor and a heavy metallic taste. I feel like it might also smell kind of dusty. If like the real Korthia, because of all the tomes and all the secrets and all the archives. Archives probably smell dusty. Still have nightmares with Korthia Rap Farm. Oh dear, yeah. I mean, it had some charm. I feel like it had a little bit of that same charm that we got in the Timeless Isle, where there's treasures, there's rares, there's daily quests, there's little secrets you can go around and find. But then there's the moor. And it's kind of small. It's very, very condensed space. I've been watching the ran off the edge. Note to self, do not read chat while you're running this close to the edge. I've been watching the tiny apartments on YouTube that they have over there. People don't seem to bat an eyelid at some tall white guy filming everything. Yeah. They're probably used to all kinds of things in Japan, to be completely honest with you. They've got Akihabara. If anywhere, then Tokyo is the place where you're used to weird things. So yeah, I thought it could be fun to film some stuff, but I need to get my hands on a microphone and a tripod, and those things cost money. So I'm considering what to do. I honestly can't handle the thought of making a vlog where the camera is going like this. I don't have the heart. Take a camera crew. Yeah, I could just hire somebody to follow me around. I've still had lots of fun in Korthia. First week, where it was my guildies going crazy, exploring the whole moor inside the rift. Yeah, the thing with... So most WoW zones I've been excited about for the first week, or the first couple of weeks. But in designing these zones, they don't always create a zone that's also fun and nice to run around in after 2 or 3 weeks. And that was the case with the Maw. It was quite fantastic. I quite liked, as you did, quite liked Korthia to begin with. It was nice to explore, and it was different from the Maw. And I actually found myself, maybe even on stream, I have said that I preferred Korthia. Well, I still prefer Korthia over the Maw, but that it felt different. That it wasn't really the Maw. It was like you've got all these broken things floating around, which is, the details are amazing. But in the end, after 2 weeks, it's still the Maw. It's still the same enemies. They're all grey and blue, and they're all here because of the jailer. It's just the jailer. The jailer. The jailer. I really hope we go back sometime and explore what was up with the jailer and that domination magic, and with the rune carver, meaning the what's his face, the leader of the Maldrax, the Primus. I hope we go back at some point and explore what was up with them, because something was definitely up. If nothing was up, then they just left signs that things were up for giggles. So I really hope we go back at some point. Might have something to do with the Void, which I think we're definitely going to go back to. The Void and the Old Gods. I'm missing the Old Gods. Those were some good villains. They had sustenance and purpose and meaning. One of the new zones we're getting for Dragonflight will be piracy. If that is true, I am on board. I do love some pirates. I have read, there was this text, this spoilery, I guess it was a spoilery text on Twitter about a night elf pirate. I don't think we've met a night elf pirate before, so I'm quite excited. If you had to choose a favorite mount, what would it be? Just one? Well. Currently, it is definitely the Heavenly Onyx Cloud Serpent, which I recently was lucky enough to get after they buffed the drop rates. So whenever I can, I ride this one. But not so much on the ground, because I feel like flying mounts feel slower on the ground than ground mounts. So for the ground mount, I usually ride my Vicious War Spider, which is the first Vicious mount of Shadowlands, which I saw, and then I thought to myself, I've got to get this, because there's only one more mount in the game that has this model, and that is the Black Widow mount, which is not called the Black Widow, which is called the... should be somewhere just around here. Am I blind? I'm blind. This one. The Bloodfang Widow, which I've also got, but that one is expensive. You've got to save up 2 mil for it. But I just love these 2 mounts. They're quite unique. So I'm sorry if you guys are triggered or something by spiders. I just really like them. I think they're super cool. And what about you? What is your favorite mount so far? Razageth history is somewhat related to all gods. Maybe we can see a turn into that direction on next patch. I think they are most certainly planning something with old gods. It seems they have to touch that subject when it's got to do with the aspects. Because you've got Neltharion and his story, and you've got Rathian that's battling Sibelian for the power, not battling, but they both want leadership over the Black Dragonflight and want to be the aspect of the Black Dragonflight. So we might see something there for sure. It's a little bit. Razagath, I think, is a good villain. I was thinking about this the other day, how this first raid compares to Shadowlands, and it's a little bit unfair because the first raid of Shadowlands had Denathrius. It had Denathrius, and it had Shriekwing, and it had the Council. It had Castle Nathria, which is just, I want to use Taliesin's word here, a banger of an expansion, or not an expansion, a raid, a banger of raid. It is probably one of my all-time favorite raids, so it's really, really difficult to beat. But I think that the Vault of the Incarnates is a solid raid. It's not bad at all. And Razagath is a cool first villain. She's very sort of over the top with her little T-Rex arms. And I feel like the voice actor just, well, went full on. No holds back. It's a banger indeed. I just feel like it's a really good word for what it was. It was very solid. Oh no, the chest went away. Okay, let's try over here. And I miss it a lot. It's probably, if someone asked me which raid do you want to go back to, I would say Castle Nathria. Even though Nyalotha has got a lot of memories for me, and Antora's was the first raid I ever did, and that one was good too. And even though it was just one expansion ago and I should be tired, I am not tired of Castle Nathria. I doubt I'll ever be. It was just... Shadowlands had one major thing really going for it, and it was the voice acting and the characters. I don't at all feel the same connection to the characters of Dragonflight as I did with Shadowlands. You've got Nadia and the Accuser and Kael'thas. Is that they're just... nobody's going to forget them anytime soon. I love the Phoenix mount from Kael'thas. Sunstride, definitely my favorite one. I don't have it yet. I don't have Ashes. It's... We went down there once or twice, I believe, on stream long time ago. Was it a year ago or something? And I haven't been in there since. I should farm for this mount. It's a good mount, and it's very, very... it ages very well. This one came out... was it Cataclysm? I mean, I wanted to say Burning Crusade, but Tempest Keep wasn't Burning Crusade, was it? The Eye. It was. It was. Definitely holding up really, really well. For the Jailer and Domination stuff, we need to watch the film Shadowlands, an autobiographical film that chronicles the life of C.S. Lewis and his heartbreaking relationship with the poet. Excuse me, what? That doesn't make any sense. Is there a film called The Shadowlands, or did you just make that up? It feels like they want us to root for Sibelian. Rathian definitely will end up as the Black Dragon leader. I don't know. It's just, they both have their good and bad sides. The thing with Sibelian is he comes back there and claims to have been in Outland for a long time with the rest of the Black Dragons. And I just think to myself, excuse me, sir, I've never seen or heard of you ever before. How am I supposed to root for you? I don't know you. You and I just don't know each other. I can't root for somebody I don't trust. As Rathian so nicely puts it, we've been through a lot together. There should be somebody I can turn in my anima to. Oh no, there's Pill in here. Remember that. I did some old raids with my guild. The Sarah Law and the Zoth have been an absolute blast, so fun. Yeah, those ones were good. I only did Sarlo a couple of times with pugs. I didn't have a guild at the time, so that's always a bit different when you don't actually have a guild for it. Pugging it doesn't feel the same. Voice actor was great. Immortal's not as great as Ramonia, but more than good enough. What is it that she says? Oh, she has this line that always cracks me up. Just at the end of phase 1, you think the... Oh, that annoys me. Well, it's super... She just has this... the voice actress just... This roughness in her voice is just perfect. It cracks perfectly. It's gravelly. It's really, really good for what it is. Okay. I don't particularly fancy going up and killing Morgoth again. We might be able to do this one though, and get that last percentage. But I'm just gonna take a round here, just for fun, to just see if there's any chests or anything or rares I can take out instead. You think the Titans... Well, at the end of it, she goes, no! You think the Titans something something. No! And it's just really good. Sorry, it cracks me up every time. Castle Nether was probably the best first raid in the expansion. I can't remember any that was better. Think about Uldir. Oh god, Uldir. I've even forgotten Uldir. I remember... it's not called Throne of the Tides. It is called... It's the Crucible of Storms, I remember. And then the Sorrow I remember. Uldir I have repressed for some reason. I might... Is it this one where you have to identify the wrong or the right clone? No. No, that must be Nyalotha. Maybe. I don't remember. It has Anthony Hopkins in. It's really, really sad. Shadowlands. It doesn't sound like something I would want to watch. I need to open a window because it's getting stuffy in here. So hang on, just 30 seconds. That was so nice. The air really smells like spring outside. If it wasn't for next week with frost, I would say it's definitely spring now. It can't really... Oh, let's see if we can make it over here. It can't really qualify as spring when we get any snow next week. It's just... The collective warmth of cats. It's made it too cozy. I believe so. Are you guys emitting too much warmth? Oh. I've also got the fireplace going really, really nicely. I have for the whole day, actually. It's not until this point in time that it gets really warm in here. So it reminds me when I'm looking for a house that I'm definitely looking for something that keeps warm. If that makes sense. So I don't want to rely on having a fireplace going the entire time because that gets really expensive. So I would like to have stable heaters and perhaps also, you know, heat in the floor. That would be really nice. That's what my apartment had, which I must have taken for granted because I miss it so much. It made sure that there was this constant warmth in the house. It was never really too warm or too cold. It was just perfect. Now that I think about it, through winter and through summer, I really, really miss that. I miss coming home and just to a warm place where I didn't have to first turn on the heater and then turn on the fireplace and then put on 3 layers until 10 o'clock in the evening when it was finally warm enough. That's my major concern actually these days, at work and whatnot, that because I work full time and I get home. When I do get home, it's so cold in the house. It takes forever to get warm. So I can't just go home and be cozy and settle down and relax immediately. I'll have to wait until the weather gets warmer. So I need a place where that can happen, where I don't have to worry about, oh no. Now that I get up from my desk, I face an afternoon of being cold. I'm telling you, it's not very pleasant. Dear, spring starts on 20th, I think. So snow can turn up, but you just shoo it away. What for? Shoot. I'm gonna just go away. Hello. That should help in a second. I'll just be bright until then. I am the sun. I have become the sun. I will say this light is also contributing to the heat in here. It is considerably warmer when I've got that one going on. We can just wear sunglasses. Oh, I could wear sunglasses. Consider sunglasses. Just pretend it's summer. That would be really nice, actually. I miss summer, but I know when summer does get around, I won't miss it so much because it's always super, super warm in summer. I prefer spring. I prefer May, June. That's the perfect season for me. And then September, October. Was he up? He's not up. We gotta get in the rift first. I wonder if anybody's gonna pull him out. They did. Pulls me out of the rift. What? I was not in the rift. Excuse me, sir. Did you pull me into the rift? The other way around. Quite like to hibernate through summer. Yeah, I would like to hibernate through winter. There's one major disadvantage to the warm winter that we've had, and the fact that spring has sort of come early, is pollen. And I am allergic. So I have actually, I felt the signs of pollen yesterday. I went for a run and I came back home like this. It was not a good time. I immediately thought to myself, oh dear, I gotta get myself some antihistamine. And it's not even mid-March, it's just the start of March. So that'll be March, June, July, August, September, part of October. That's half a year on antihistamine. I'm not happy. Let me just see if I can turn this on over here, if that's going to help with the light. Sometimes it just needs to stabilize a little bit. It just needs to stabilize. Oh, there's a cat back there. You getting up? I thought this key light would solve all my problems, but I'm yet to become an expert on it. put you there? No. What if I put you all the way over here? That's too much. Oh dear. I feel like I'm always in this situation towards the end of the stream where my camera is just not having it anymore. That sort of helps. We'll go with that. You can see more of Jerryzard and less of Umbreon, who's sitting behind the chair. The hunt has to be one of the most satisfying buttons to press. Definitely up there with Chaos Bolt. Oh yes, I agree. Oh no, the mushroom went away. It really is very satisfying. And then Convoke as well is very, very satisfying. What else have we got? I mean, I personally take a lot of joy in using Breath of Syndragosa. But that one you have to work for. That's not just one button. You have to keep the breath up. So it's not as high on the list as the Hunt and Convoke and Chaos Bolt. Yeah, it's not. What else can we think of, guys? What, by the way, are you guys going anywhere for summer holidays? Are you traveling? Are you staying at home? Do you have summer holidays at all? Because I don't. We're not friends today. At least it's stable. Too bright. Stably too bright. In summer, that's when this place gets really crowded and when my workplace gets very busy. So I probably won't have any summer vacation until after summer. Which is a bit of a... It is what it is, but... I actually kind of don't mind because it's so hot in summer. I just hope that there's good air conditioning in my office. I haven't experienced it yet, but... And at least it's only a month and a half or so. And then I can enjoy summer holidays when all the tourists are gone. See, that's really nice, actually. I get to swim in the ocean when there's no one else there, maybe just a few. I get to eat ice cream when there's no queue to the ice cream shop. I get to go for hikes when there's hardly anybody else going on that same hike. I get to ride. I actually haven't told you guys, have I? I've been riding a lot recently. I went on one of the weekends. The riding trainer's mother knows my mother, and she took me riding outside at the in the fields and at the beach, and it was just fantastic, and we had such a good trip. It was very windy and very cold. I was wearing a lot of layers, which I was very thankful for. But in the end, I was still very much frozen when I got home. So it was just the best thing to then have a hot shower, which I had. And I felt when I went to bed that night, my whole body was just tingling because it'd been so cold. And then it got warm again. And I got a lot of exercise. I think we were riding for 2.5 hours or something. It was very nice. And I missed that a lot, I realize. Teleported to the Chamber of Wisdom. I'm going. Coming. Wait for me. Allergies. Supposedly eating local honey meant to help. Oh, I could definitely do that. They have the most amazing local honey here. I will eat some more honey then. Thank you for the tip. I will get back to you and let you know whether it helps. It's amazing on freshly baked bread, and now I'm making myself hungry. I did eat before this stream. I really did. Is he already dead? That was so fast. How? Jesus. I mean, holy Naru. I'll just take mushrooms then. Let me go grab these. I recently graduated, so I'm looking forward to my first job starting in summer. Congratulations on the graduation. That's very exciting. What are you gonna work as, if you don't mind me asking? You took the Nara name in vain. I remember being excited about my first job, which didn't the path to my first job was not as linear as I thought it was going to be, because I finished university right in the middle of COVID. So I just grabbed all my stuff in Japan and then went home as quickly as I could when I could get a plane, because most of them were cancelled. And what I thought was going to be an advantage on my resume, having studied in Japan and speaking Japanese, wasn't really an advantage, because nobody was looking to expand to Japan or trade with Japan at the time. They were just looking inwards. It's like, nope, we're gonna focus nationally. So it was a bit of a bummer. But I'm going back now after 3 years. Speaking of Naru, don't you think they feel sinister? Oh yes, they've felt sinister ever since Zira, was it Zira her name? The one that tried to purify Illidan. Her, and then the story of Yrel, with the whole convert or die. That is very sinister, if you ask me. Let's see if there's any chests up over here that I haven't noticed. I am at 91%. I would like to... Ooh, there's some caches over here this way. Good. I do believe that the Naru are more sinister than the Void. Not that the Naru are eviler than the Void, but they're just more sinister. The Void, you're very sure that they're bad, and you're very sure that they serve their own means, that they want to convert you and corrupt you. But the Naru and the Light work in more subtle ways. So they seem good, but they're not. But that's religion though for you, isn't it? It is. I feel like the Light is also kind of a cult. What are you up to, good ma'am? I am hanging out in Korthia in Shadowlands because I have had enough of dragon riding. So I've gone back to my home in Shadowlands, which still feels like home to me, to farm some reputation. Because there is a couple of mounts that I don't have from Death's Advance. The Beryl Shophide and the Razorwing. 2 turquoise mounts you get from here. And I worked so hard to get them back then, and I was just very, very unlucky. I remember I was discussing with my friend and Gildy at the time. Every time we got a new mount, we let each other know. And he just got all those mounts. He was so lucky. It's really unfair. Oh, I should start this, no? Has it been started? It has not been started. Started. That should give me the rest, the last 3% of the jailer's effort. And Savosi, how are you doing? I hope I pronounced that right. I hope you've had a lovely weekend. I have a gut feeling that an eventual expansion, we might fight both Naru and Void enemies. That would be really awesome. That would make for some really good enemies, now that we discussed enemies and mobs. I really like when they look very different. They did. So in, for instance, Burning Crusade, you had a lot of different looking enemies. Again, we compared to Shadowlands, where everything was just black and Morsworn and jailer mobs. It's nice to have very different looking enemies, and I think we would have, it would be really awesome actually. I would love a void and light expansion. I hope we get more with the Loon as well. We've only just met her in the body of Tyrande. There must be more to it. Nauru forcing themselves on Illidan, not cool. Definitely not cool. And I'm very glad that he wasn't having it. Azeroth versus Cosmic Energies. There must be something. I mean, if you do look back at the Jailer's last words, right? There was something there. There was definitely something there, that a world divided would not survive what is to come. And it seems like what is to come is something very cosmic, right? Because you've got the Shadowlands, which is cosmic, basically. I just hope it'll be good, because there is such a thing as too cosmic. There is such a thing as too much Star Warsy. The good thing is that WoW tends to sort of follow modern trends. And right now, while Star Wars is still very much popular, otherworldly cosmic things are not what we watch the most of at the moment. We still watch a lot of fantasy stuff, don't we? What is popular right now in terms of shows? I guess Stranger Things, newer shows. I mean, Lord of the Rings and House of the Dragon, right? Maybe that's why we're getting Dragonflight at the moment. But it is very much, it does very much draw inspiration from modern trends. So hopefully cosmic stuff won't be too much out and about. Another good thing is the fact that even if it feels cosmic, because it will, because the void and light is cosmic forces, it is familiar. It is familiar in the same way as the Dragon Isles is familiar, because it's something we've heard of. It's something we've grown up with, so to speak, in World of Warcraft lore. So it's not entirely new. Like Shadowlands was very. It took some time to get used to. It's like, oh, I mean, we do know that there's something called the Realms of Death, but I mean, most of us just go to the Spirit Healer, right? We didn't really think that she was necessarily Kyrian or anything like that. So that took a bit of time to get used to, the fact that there was a world outside. I mean, we've been to Draenor, I know, but that's like a different planet. This was just like a world outside, encompassing all the others. Seems the light and void want to subjugate Azeroth. Correct me if I'm wrong. Without getting into it, because that the chat is not the place for that, and that could get into heated discussions. Belief in higher entities, or belief in the sun, or, you know, worshipping something has always been a lot, or has always been a big part of human nature and human history. So the fact that those forces want to subjugate the world would definitely be very, very likely, and not surprising at all. I don't think that got me where I wanted to get. Oh, I need 200 more. That's really annoying. It would be if they worked together to bring us down. Maybe we even lose. Wouldn't it be fun to lose for once? I mean, wouldn't it be interesting, actually, to lose for once? To see some of to get like a clean slate, you know, where go back to square one, wipe out a couple of NPCs we don't need anymore. Is that too dark? Might be too dark. I'm about to wrap up, though. I'm just gonna log out here and okay, I do look like I'm sitting in the sun, but it's not too bad. Again, I don't have any dark curtains. I do think I need to get my hands on some dark curtains and then sit up. This is not going to be tomorrow or anything. This is going to be sometime in the future. I want to set up a real office where I can record and stream with stable lights. So I apologize for all the fiddling with the lights and the fact that I look like, I don't know, I'm lit up by I don't know, the light. There's a Naru in the corner over there. That was 2 hours been and gone indeed. So I won't be able to stream next week because it is my parents' birthdays and my brother is visiting from Thursday. So I'm going to be super busy and there's going to be so many people in this house, I can't. It's going to be my brother and his girlfriend and my parents and me and 3 cats, which include 2 kittens. We're going to fall, we're going to trip over each other constantly, and there's never going to be any hot water in the shower. I need to make sure I get up early so I can get the first showers. No cold. I don't think that's going to be difficult, actually. I've gotten up quite early this weekend. The kittens are used to getting up at 7, so they go and they chew on my arms and walk on my face at 7 a.m. in the morning. So just promise me you'll wake me up then. Right? So I can go have a shower. It's still hot. Yeah, so there won't be any next week. But what you can look forward to, though, is a new video. I'm going to release my lore video finally on the Scythe of Elune. It has been a ride. I have had to do a lot of research and sources do not match. So disclaimer that I've patched together the story of the Scythe of Elune and how it fell into the hands of Balance Druids in Legion. So stay tuned for that, and stay tuned for streams, because I'm going to come back. Thank you so much for the resubs, guys. Those of you who resubbed, I really appreciate that. I love that I can return here, and you guys are still here. It's amazing. You rock. Take care of yourselves for the rest of the Sunday and for next week, and take care of each other, and I shall see you around. Bye.